me what's up. Think you gon' play me, just know that I'm not one of them. Feel like I don't know you, don't come around, no invaders.
It's your boy Noto, coming to another video, coming to another podcast, man. In today's podcast, we're going to discuss how I caught my first girlfriend cheating on me. If you're new here or you already been here, go ahead and click that like button, go ahead and comment, go and subscribe. Click that notification bell so you'll be notified whenever I drop a video. And without further ado, let's go on and get into this topic, guys. So I did tell you guys I'm going to start doing a series on the things that I've done, like in my quote unquote, I guess we would say simping days, on the days and a lot of the mistakes that I've made. And in this series, hopefully you guys can learn a few lessons and learn some things, some bullets that you can dodge, some missiles and big bursters that you can dodge when it comes to the dating game and whatever. Maybe just learning through my mistakes, through me telling my story. So these are going to be like pretty much story times that I'm telling you of all the experiences that I've had. So in order to know how it ended, I'm going to tell you guys how this began. I met this chick, right? She was light skinned, she had long hair, she was thick, and pretty much everything I was tight because I was real like hung over, like head over heels for red chicks back when I was younger. So when I was younger, I would love me some red chicks. Like I didn't even like dark skinned chicks back then. I was just so hung up on red chicks. And when I was real young, Beyonce was my biggest crush. Anybody said anything about Beyonce, I'll stop anything I'm doing. Video games, everything. I come running from outside if I hear Beyonce is on the TV screen. So that's how I was. But then I transitioned to like light skin. So anyway, that just pretty much a little background on how that happened. But anyway, met this chick online. Like it was like, I forgot, it was like some type of dating app, and we just started kind of like chopping it up. I wasn't really thinking too much of it. I just know I liked the chick, and I was like, okay, she was pretty consistent, and eventually I ended up getting a number. And what was happening at one point in time, my mode of transportation was my I guess you could say my mom was dating some guy at the time, so he ended up going to get her for me. Well, not get her for me, we went together and he took me to go get her, and that's how I first met her, like in the backseat of my mom's car. So that was pretty cool. We ended up meeting. She was like, oh, okay, you look better in person, which was a lot of things that was going on back in the day, because I was what they was called a reverse catfish. I always looked better in person than I did on the camera. So we ended up hanging out a little bit. We at the point in time, we were staying at my godmom's house. Well, we were staying at my godmom's house at the point in time, and as we was in a situation, me and my mom was like, we was homeless at the point in time, and we was staying with my godmom, and she was looking out for us in our time of need until we got back on our feet. Well, to that degree. And at this point in time, I was working at Burger King. That was like my first job, Burger King. And I was crushing the hours. Like it was to the point where I was doing so many hours that it could be considered like I could actually have like a lawsuit on how much hours I was doing with minimal breaks. It's been times that I had worked about 16-hour days with like no breaks, and you gotta understand, mind you, this was back like around like 20. I think it was like 2012 or something like that. It was. I was a youngin. Remember, I'm 30 years old right now. So what I'm gonna say is, yeah, I met her. I brought her to my godmom's house, and there was a couple other people that staying there, a couple of her relatives. And he was like, oh, they was like, dang, she fine. You know, I was kind of getting the props, and I was kind of like getting the big head from bringing her around. Some of my little god brother was saying, oh, she look good, she look cute, you know, all this and all that. So everybody was around the house was pretty much approving of her. And all that. So it was one guy in there that was like, oh yeah, I ain't messing with her because she wouldn't speak to him, and she was quiet anyway. She was like the quiet type anyway. She would talk to me, but she wasn't really up to talking like outward with guys and all that other stuff like that, you know, around me. She wasn't really that social with other people except for me. She would talk to me, but she ain't really want to talk to them like that. And one of the guys in the house took offense to that, and he was like, oh, I ain't messing with her OMG dolls looking stuff. You know, he pretty much gave her a compliment but trying to insult her at the same time. So the fact that it was pretty much like a full house, and we had to get like a room to like ourselves. Me and my mom was staying in the house, within the house. It was almost like a group home situation. That's what it kind of seemed like, but it was like a lot of relatives that just kind of just staying together, you know, just doing the same thing, trying to get on their feet and, you know, and go their own way type deal. But the fact that it was so much activity in there, it wasn't no way for us to really do anything. So I had a homie that I used to tell y'all guys that I used to run trains with, on chicks with. So he had his house with his I think his grandma stayed there, but she was gone. So we had the house to himself, and it was just perfect timing. He was perfect timing. So we ended up going over to the house, chilling, because I never like to go to the house because his house had a whole bunch of, like, she was the type that gathered a lot of stuff. I won't say she was a hoarder, but she had a lot of she had a lot of antiques and statues, and the type of grandma that had a whole bunch of stuff. Like, she had a garden over here, like statues over here, and pots and pans and all that other stuff over there. She was one of the type that had a junky yard and a whole bunch of dogs in the yard. So that's one of the big reasons I didn't want to go. She had a bunch of dogs, and I wasn't with that. I didn't even like walking past on the sidewalk past the gate, because they surprise you. They got some little ones. They like the alarm bells, and the big ones come after them. So I was like, damn, man, it would be nice if I got my chick with me, man. I wish I can take her somewhere. He was like, bro, you can come over there. And I came over there with him, and we chopped it up a little bit. And he was like, bro, y'all can stay in this room right here. And like, this, mind you, this is my first time even coming into this yard, bro. This yard, like, I'm looking around like, bro, the whole time I'm walking in the yard, she ain't know. But I knew it was dogs in there. She had about at least 6 dogs. Bro. Like, and it was like 4 small ones and like 3 big ones. So the whole time I'm looking around for the dogs, because I know there's a whole bunch of dogs over here. And I was like, I'm like, bro, like, I ended up asking them. I was like, bro, what a dog? But I ain't asked him in front of her. I asked him like away from her, because I didn't want to like scare her, because we were already in the yard. So last thing I wanted to do was kind of like freak her out. So I asked him, I was like, bro, like, I pulled him to the side, like, hey, bro, what are the dogs at? He was like, bro, don't worry about it, bro. They all locked up in the back, bro. You ain't got to worry about none of them coming out there. I'm like, all right, cool. Because to be honest, I could like somewhat believe him, because some guys be playing like, hey, my dog's locked up, and they come running out at you and shit. Like, no, he wasn't one of the type to help playing with you. And, he got some guys in the hood that play with you. He don't bite, and the next thing you know, he on your ass. But anyway. So, because I somewhat believed him about the dogs, because it wasn't nothing. I didn't hear no barking and nothing, no scuffling, no nothing. So, okay, going past that, we ended up going into the house, right, chilling, and that was us. We was chilling in the room. He gave it to us. We were chilling. We tried it up for a little bit, smoked a little bit. He went his way, and we were chilling in the room. And that was the first time me and her ended up smashing. So that was our first time. I did a couple of my first things I ever done with her anyway. But yeah. We ended up smashing. So that was the seal in the deal, and I'm just gonna let you know. I'm just going to tell you the whole story, because I always wanted to tell the story. So anyway, we ended up smashing, and we ended up spending the night over there, and I ended up going off. And I noticed as we was about to take her back, she wanted me to go and meet her auntie. So along the way there, we were just talking and stuff. But she always, like, I always noticed that she always talked about as the relationship kind of started going on. I ain't gonna say this wasn't even the next morning. This wasn't even the next morning. This is a fast forward. I say fast forward, like, let me see, like 2 weeks. Like 2 weeks after that. So we going to her godmother's house. I guess that was her auntie house or whatever. I met her auntie. I ain't gonna lie to you. Her auntie was fine as hell. Her auntie was thick as hell, like a cougar. Like, she was thick. She had the body, she had everything. Like, but she was dark skinned. And the first thing her auntie said, she was like, I'm cool. I hope everything's good, because I got a gun. Like, that's the first thing she said. I have a gun, so make sure you treat my niece right. And I was like, all right, yeah, ain't no problems over here. I'm good. She could tell that I was one of the good type of dudes, which was like, yeah, it was good in a good way, but in another way, like for the dating scene and how men are depicted and all that, and what chicks wanted at that point in time, that was pretty bad, because I was like coming off as a good guy, goody two shoes, nice guy, good hair on the shoulders, that wasn't really revered back then, So anyway, but she seen I was that type of guy, so she really had no alarm bells, but she was still gonna let me know. You know what I'm saying? So she still let me know. So I'm looking around. Okay, I'm chilling over at her spot or whatever. We chilling, we talk over, we chop it up for a little while. It's cool, and we end up going back to my godmother because she wanted to come and hang with us. So at this point in time, my mom's old co-worker needed her to house sit for I believe for like it was about a week. It was like an old friend of hers. She wanted her to watch over her house while she went out of town or something like that. So ended up having like okay, she was like, okay, we can come over here, we can stay over here, but she laid the ground rules down and everything was cool, make sure we take care of everything just like it's our own, make sure you don't mess up nothing in the house, that talk right there. So I ended up bringing her back to the spot, and we ended up spending a lot of time there, doing a lot of things there. I ain't gonna lie to you. My mom already know, like, when I'm there and I have a chick there, I mean, my mom not stupid, so she already knows something's going down, but she not really finna say that, ask about it. She never really cared, as long as she ain't walk in or nothing like that, because we was in the house alone a lot of times throughout that week. So of course things went down, so we was chilling over there, and we chilling over there. So okay, getting past the stories and going to these locations and all that, because I know this is starting to get a little repetitive. But anyway, I noticed something, like this is when stuff started kind of like, these were like some red flags I should have started paying attention to, because she used to be on her phone a lot of times when I was over there, and I used to come over there, and as soon as I used to be like, come over to the, like, say for instance, I'm walking from the back room and she on the couch watching TV and she on the phone, and I walk over there, like as soon as I walk over there, she'll like hurry up and put it back down, and like and turn off phone screen, like put the phone face down. So I used to see that, but I never really said nothing about it, because I didn't really care about that, whatever. So I noticed every time she started, we started my mom's the guy she was dating would end up taking her back to her auntie house, because I always ride with them in order to take her back. I never just say, hey, just get in the car with him and you take him. And I always rode with her. So anyway, she'd be like, do you still want to be together, and I was to be the one. I'm like, no, I ain't got no problem. Why you want to keep talking about it? No, she'll come and tell me like, no, that's not how it went. This is how it went at first. She would ask, how she used to say it, but it was some crazy ass shit. Oh yeah, she used to be like, we need to talk, and I'd be like, what we need to talk about? I was like, you sure we need to be dating and stuff like that? Because she always kept saying that, and this is how it happened real frequently, because it was getting to the point where we were starting to hang out with each other just about every other day. She was pretty clingy, but it was getting to the point where we were starting to spend too much time together. Now that I look back on it, we started to spend way too much time together. We was in each other's face too much time. Every time I get off work, the main thing I was thinking about was just, okay, hanging with her. Like I went out my way, even if I was tired, bro. We was made sure that I was hanging with her. So I began to think that, like, damn, maybe I am smothering her. So anyway, she was to be like, we need to talk, and she always talk about something along the lines of breaking up, but I always fought to stay. Like, I don't want to break up, I like you, actually at that point I felt like I loved her, so I was like, I love you and all that. She used to tell me she loved me back and all that too, and I believe she really did though, but it was just too much going on at the point in time. Now the reason that I say that I believe she loved me too, because she was showing me, she was exhibiting that, she was doing things, and the time she was spending, the length she would go. But at the same time, too much is still too much at certain points in time. And these talks kept happening every time. Like, I'm talking about, like, every day we would take her home. She'd be like, we need to talk and all this. And I'm like, man, I feel like I'm fighting for the relationship every day. I'm like, I end up talking her out of breaking up with me. That's basically what I was doing. Talking her out of breaking up with me. And then we end up making up and all that. And now, okay. Now, one night, I was off. I was off, but like, I had like, so I had a ride. It was like the weekend. I went to this place that I used to hang out over there called Kelly's. I used to hang out at Kelly's place, and I was thinking, I'm like, I want to go see her, see what's up, because I was going to Kelly's when I was like real young, way too young to even be up in there. I was in there, but anyway, I ended up hitting her up, and she didn't answer the phone. She ain't like answer the phone. She ain't answer none of my text messages. She ain't answer nothing. So I'm thinking like something ain't right. So I let me go ahead on and pop up to Auntie House, because I know where she stayed at. So I went over there. I got a ride from like, I forgot who I got a ride from. I don't know if it was because it was a chick, because they stayed over on 103rd. We got a place over there in Jacksonville called 103rd, and this right here gonna surprise a lot of people, and it surprised me, but you gonna see it a lot. You gonna see it in a minute, bro. Cause and you know what? Before I even get to this part, I fast forwarded. It was one time we was hanging, right? I went over to Auntie House one time, and it was like it was some dudes over there. I think they was like a cousins of family members and stuff like that. So we was smoking. I remember this. I had some weed. This is when I was smoking. I had some weed. I think I had about a dime bag, and I had like 3 blunts on me. And I was like, oh yeah, y'all want to smoke? And they were like, they were standing there themselves, and I was like, okay. So me and her smoked my weed while they were smoking their weed at the table. Right, so that was one thing that happened one time. So it was like they was gathering, but I didn't know who they was. But when you find out who they were, I'm gonna tell you who they was, and it was gonna blow your mind, which is crazy, right? But anyway, going back to this night. because that's gonna tie into the end. But anyway, going back to this night, bro. Like I end up popping up over there, and I end up going over to the house, and I end up seeing bullet holes in the house. Like, so somebody didn't shut up the house. I'm talking about bullet holes all in the windows and all over the cement, like all over the wall. Like the whole front of the house has been like shot up. Like I'm telling you, see bullet hole. I'm talking about, and it's like they ain't got shot and they ain't even clean up the mess yet. None of that. You know, the house is definitely has been shot up. So I don't know if that happened the day before or something like that. I don't know. But I'm looking at that. I'm looking like, damn, somebody done wet this bitch and bit it up. You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking like, at this point, I'm trying to think, is she okay? So I go knock at the door, right? I knock at the door a little bit. I keep knocking. It wasn't no answer. So I stood by the door for a little bit. And then all of a sudden I hear a little bit of scuffling. So she ends up coming to the door, and she has like a cover over her, right? But I could tell that she ain't got no clothes under the cover. And she looking at me surprised, like, what you doing here? What you doing here? I'm like, what I'm doing here, like, cause you wasn't answering the phone and you wasn't returning my text. I woke up and I see bullet holes in the house. I'm like, everything all right? She was like, yeah, everything all right. It was just you know, I guess she was just trying to say some BS, like, you know, like I don't know what excuse she made about the bullet holes, but you gonna see why in a minute. Y'all gonna see why. But anyway, she said some BS, and I was like, so what's going on with you? She was like, I gotta tell you something. I'm in here. I got a dude in here. I'm like, what? You see what I'm saying? Like I wasn't like the type to be extra overreacting. I'm like, what? So I was like, so you cheating on me? So she was like, yeah. And then she ended up going. The dude ended up trying to walk out the room. So she closed the door and went in there. I guess she went and talked to the dude, and then she came outside to talk to me, in order, I guess, you know, to alleviate the situation, because I guess you feel like I was going to snap or whatever. So basically, I gave the rundown, because me, even though I was on some heavy sipping stuff, I wasn't on no crash dummy type stuff. I wasn't really on no go after the dude because I'm mad at the girl for cheating me type shit. I wasn't on that. So she basically came outside with the cover still wrapped around her, you know, butt naked up under the cover, and came and talking to me. And I was like, you know what, I ain't got time. I ain't finna say nothing to the dude. I ain't finna bother with the dude. You know, this was the time I was about to go to college. I was like, I got a lot of stuff to look forward to. I ain't finna get into it with nobody, and you know, and none of that. So after I said that, I'm guessing the dude heard what I said and ended up walking outside the house and just ended up walking off. And I looked at him, he looked at me, and he just walked off. I ain't really, you know, I wasn't really tight. I wasn't no crash dummy, you know. I wasn't gonna be like, one, it wasn't even his fault anyway. He just going to get some after the girl and called them up. I was really more disappointed in her, but guess what my duck behind did? I still hugged her, kissed her and everything right there. Like, you know, I don't care about this, because I was in love, you know what I'm saying? I didn't care about that, even though I just called her. See, this was the most simplest stuff I'd ever done. I'm gonna admit that. I definitely did that and didn't care. And eventually it ended up getting cut off. But I just wanted to show you like how I ended up catching her, because like one, she probably felt smothered. She wanted to talk to other guys anyway. Probably was already talking to other guys the whole time anyway. Had feelings for me, but still, you know, wanted to do her thing as well. But I didn't want to let her do her thing. You know, I wanted to, you know, her to love me. I wanted her to be this, and I started smothering her. So let's get back to this point right here. So the crazy part about this night, y'all know about the Duvall War, right? So the whole, you know, the whole ATK versus KTA thing, right? So it turns out these dudes were in that, you know, the Youngin Nate's go to war with me, his first video when he first blew up. Those were the same guys that was in that house in her auntie house. I guess, and those were her cousins. I don't know if they was her cousins. I don't know if it's associates or some of her family members or whatever, but those were the same guys. I'm not sure if Ace was in there. I'm not saying Ace was in there, and I'm not saying that I knew none of them. All we did was, it was like a hey and bye type. I ain't saying I'm cool with them or none of that. I was just like, the fact that all those guys that I seen that was in that music video was in that house. It was like a whole group of them. All of them was in that house. I was looking like, bro, these the same guys that was in that house. And remember that video had a bunch of guys toting guns, toting all this. So I'm looking like, bro, I was really at the house where they stayed at. So this explains why all the bullet holes was in the house. So I'm telling you, so all these people that's thinking that this war was just funny or it wasn't nothing real, but that was real. And I didn't even know what I was walking into. I didn't even know what I was dealing with, you know. But she said that was her family. She said those were cousins or whatever. But you never know. Like girl be saying stuff, but it didn't seem like nothing was going on with her and the other dudes or nothing like that. So yeah, it wasn't like that. But it just came to my surprise that I was in the house with these guys, bro. I don't know. I'm not sure if Ace was in it. I'm not sure of none of that. But I know that those. I remember a majority of those guys that was in that video was definitely in that house, like smoking and chilling. And then the next, like that was like 3 nights before I came and caught her and seen the bullet holes in the house. So basically, that was like, I guess that was probably one of their family members' houses, and one of the what they would call ops found out where they stayed at and tried to shoot up the house, or you know, probably tried to get down on them. That's basically what it was. But I didn't know what it was. I was blinded by love. I didn't care about nothing. The bullet holes wasn't really that big of a red flag as me trying to go and see what she was doing. So I'm following tail. Probably could have got shot up myself. They probably could have thought I was one of the affiliates and came by and spun the block again and shot me up. You never know. So that could have happened for me. But just knowing, looking back and thinking like, hold on, I'm looking at this video, bro. These were the same guys that was in this video, and they was at war at that time. Big war at that time. That's when everybody was still out there, and I didn't even know that. I'm just sitting out here chasing this chick. So anyway, that was just like a little twist ending for that story. I just wanted to tell y'all that that's how I caught my first girlfriend cheating on me. And one of the biggest, simplest things I did, I took her right back right after, even caught her in the act, and still took her right back right after the act and all that, bro. Like I was a mess, bro. I was a mess. I'm telling you, don't be so blinded, and don't ignore big red flags like that just for some love or just for some tail, man. But anyway, I just wanted to tell y'all a story time or whatever. I got a whole bunch of stuff like this, but it gets way better. It gets way crazier anyway. But that was just one of my first like experiences, especially when I was like younger. I wanted to go and get this one out the way so we can go on and move forward with the rest when it really gets crazy. But anyway, it's your boy Noto, coming to another video, coming to another podcast, man. If you're enjoying the content, go and click that like button, go ahead and comment on and subscribe, click that notification bell so you'll be notified whenever I drop a video. And remember guys, anybody can improve themselves, they willing to work at it. I'm out.
I'm chillin', I really ain't worried about niggas. I promise I keep it a Kuna Matata. Even though niggas be looking and sounding like me, that boy Morris said I'm not the father. Swear I'm a dog, get vicious when I'm irritated. I might need a shock on my collar. Don't got a filter, just keep it straightforward. I play my position, Andre Iguodala. Ain't no exposing me, I get a D, hit a ovary. Don't even go down that road with me. And if a chicken obsessed, I don't need it. I want that Miss Parker with Professor Ogilvy. Bitch ain't no testing me, none of these bitches be stressing me. Capping like they got the best of me. If she go off and get with another man, really she still gon' be thinking about sexing me. Done with these bitches, let's get to this paper. One piece of the pie, still out on the merit. Chasing that money, Coyote Road Runner, ain't doing no talking, just like Tom and Jerry. Ain't no beef with no drama, it won't make no money to me, it's just unnecessary. But if I'm push, I'm gon' have to crash out on a nigga, and then I'ma call up as Gary.